Happy New Year, folks. Pretty good Monday morning as we're here to talk about the Packers giving the Vikings a good beatdown to end 2022. I only took away one negative thing from this game, but other than that, the positive outcomes go across the board. Packers controlled this game from the very start. They looked sharp, plays were being executed, the offense found their rhythm, and they looked like the offense they had been when they went on that previous win streak. Jordan Love threw 30 touchdown passes for 256 yards and no interceptions. Had the Vikings defense on their toes from the second drive to the end. I don't know what it is about playing on holiday games, but Jordan Love plays his best ball when doing so. Doing on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, New Year's now. He now has a total of 30 touchdowns, 34 overall. In his last 7 starts, Love has 6 games with multiple touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating over 100. The Packers went 5-1 in those 6 games. Not turning the ball over is one of the big key stats as far as I'm concerned. The only game in which we lost, and that's out of those 7, was obviously against the Giants, where he threw that one interception. So Jordan Love being able to protect the ball and not turn the ball over is one of the key reasons why we've been able to win these games over the past month or two. Yeah, even though the offense came out and looked 3 and out, it came out immediately and went 3 and out. And it looked like it was going to be a long night, but they cleaned that up and just after that just went down the field and scored points. One drive going over 90 yards in 8 minutes in the second half, which is insane for an offense that looked like complete shit the first time we played the Vikings. I mean, that week eight matchup with the Vikings, the offense couldn't get out of their own way. They couldn't get anything going. They struggled to even pick up for first down after the first 3 or 4 drives. Guys were dropping passes. Love was missing throws. The offensive line was awful. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't do anything that first game against the Vikings. We couldn't do anything. All right? We were terrible all across the board. And thank God we didn't see any of that last night. None of it. The offensive line gave Jordan Love plenty of time in the pocket to go through his reads. They've been playing some good ball over the last few weeks, man. The offensive line's been playing really well. The run game with Aaron Jones is starting to come alive more and more. He went over 100 yards again this game after that Panthers game last week. No one should be surprised at what Aaron Jones brings to this offense when he's healthy. Okay, we saw it with the first few games we saw it with the first game against the Bears this season, where he practically went out there and won the game on his own in the second half. All right, so having a healthy Aaron Jones running the ball is crucial to this offense success. It's absolutely crucial. I always said all season long, I don't want Jordan Love having to go out there and do everything. And even though he played well, still having a complimentary run game behind Aaron Jones is one of the big and key reasons why we won this football game. Aaron Jones looked amazing, and they better bring him back next year. That's all I got to say. Keep Aaron Jones as our starting running back. A healthy Aaron Jones makes this offense look even better than what it is. It's honestly just incredibly how good his offense can be and look when they're playing this well, especially with all the injuries that we had coming into this game. Once again, not having Luke Musgrave, Dontavian Wicks was out, Watson was out, Jaden Reed, who had an awesome game, he eventually left with a chest injury. But before that, he was playing lights out. Guys just came out there and stepped up with Bo Melton, who we signed off the practice squad. Went over 100 yards, with that being our first receiver to go over that millstone all season. That honor probably would have went to Reed had he not got hurt. But you know what? It's all good. Speaking of Jaden Reed now has 10 total touchdowns, the third most by a rookie in team history. He also set the team record for total receptions by a rookie in a single season, surpassing Sterling Sharps. So Jaden Reed has just been definitely our best and most explosive guy in receiving all season long, without question. The defense, I'll say this, man. The defense, they play good, man. Okay? They only allow 4.1 yards per play. A lot of that goes to the defensive line getting pressure. That's where it all starts. When the defense is able to have good games, it always starts up front with the defensive line. These guys getting pressure and getting after the quarterbacks. Because if you leave that secondary out on the island, eventually it's going to be a problem. Okay? So the defensive line was getting after it. They were getting pressure. Joe Barry was even sending a few blitzes, something that he rarely does, but it was working and it was effective. They even forced a rare interception, something they've been struggling with all season long, which was creating turnovers. The Packers are in the bottom of the league in terms of interceptions, but they forced 2 total turnovers. So yeah, I won't shit on the defense. They were good last night. They didn't allow a guy like Justin Jefferson to take over despite Jair not playing due to suspension. That was just a complete boneheaded move by him in itself. But anyway, don't need to talk about that. The point is, we didn't allow Justin Jefferson to go off in this game. He had a few catches for 40 total, I think 45 to, I think about 40 to 50 yards, somewhere around that range. But the guys the guys Valentine and Valentine, saying those two guys' names together, they were good in the secondary. So even though we all want Joe Burrow gone, his job unfortunately might be safe after this game. We'll just have to wait and see. And listen, it's not like I want to see his defense play horrible. It's not like that. I don't want to see that. I just know that Joe Burrow can't be our defensive coordinator going forward if this team ever wants to be really good as a whole. Because it's not just the offense that has to find its way, that's had to go throughout the whole season find its way. It's also the defense. It's also the defense. It's also the special teams. But as far as the defense is concerned, at least they went out there when they're playing teams like the Vikings, who was starting their rookie quarterback. You want to see them go out there and play well because you're going up against a rookie quarterback, for heaven's sake. They did what they were supposed to do and made a rookie quarterback look completely uncomfortable and forced some bad throws, turned the ball over, etc. Had they looked like this against a backup quarterback like Tommy DeVito over a month ago, we would already be in the playoffs. And hell, we might even be still competing for we might not even be still competing for a spot if we had somehow blew that Panthers game last week. We probably be eliminated from the playoffs had we had somehow blew that game last week, making Bryce Young look like a goddamn, and predictably look like a goddamn MVP. So even though I'm trying to be positive here, the bottom line is you can't trust this defense. Period. This game won't make me forget how awful they looked those previous 3 games. With Baker Mayfield, Tommy DeVito having career games against us, Bryce Young, same thing. And then you see all the 3 of those quarterbacks, Bryce Young and Baker Mayfield, look like shit yesterday. After torching our defense a week and 2 weeks ago. Tommy DeVito is now on the bench. Desmond Ridder is now on the bench. These were the quarterbacks that we were allowing to completely trash our defense, man. So the bottom line is you can't trust these guys, man. But at least they went out there and played like how they should have been able to play when playing against quarterbacks like this. So I'll give them complete credit for that by not allowing the Vikings offense to really do much of anything, only giving up 10 points. They had a good game, man. So overall, I'll still give them a lot of credit. They played well. Joe Burrow called this game on defensive ball really good. And if it's like if we can just get that consistency from if we can't just overall not being able to trust this defense, being up and down and just not knowing what defense is going to show up is what's causing this offense to have to just go out there and score about 30 points for us to win. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to. So overall, the only negative I can really bring away from this game is the damn special teams again. The special teams, as usual, screwing up with the muff punt that set up the Vikings' only touchdown after going up 30-3. Special teams trash as usual, man. Even with Anderson Carson missing yet another extra point. He's now missed more extra points than any kicker in the league. So special teams overall, you guys suck. Even though I know Carson made 3 field goals, I think it was two or three field goals. Still, these missed extra points are starting to really get on my nerves. And no other kicker has as many missed extra points than he does. And again, that muff punt that set up the Vikings' only touchdown. So, again, like I said, it's not just the offense, man. It's gonna take the special teams and the defense to find their way if this team ever wants to be a true contending a true playoff team and Super Bowl bound. We got long ways to go. So, but that's what this season was all about. Just seeing what just overall was just the experiment was just to see what type of team that we have. That's pretty much what this season was all about. This season was never really about making the playoffs. It really wasn't. It was never about that. So what now is there's only one game left, and that's against the Bears at home next week. With us winning, the Bears have been eliminated from the playoffs, and they will love, the Bears will love nothing more than to spoil our chances for making the playoffs next week. They've been playing good themselves, winning 4 out of their last 5. So it's not going to be how it was in week 1. Right? It's not. Both of these teams look completely different than how they looked from the start of the season. But, Green Bay next week, they win and they're in. Simple as that. And the sad part is, like I said, nobody saw Green Bay playing for a playoff spot going into this final game of the season. With how bad the team looked, you can tell the GMs and all the higher ups are ready to call this give up on the season, man. You saw it when they traded Russell Douglas, which I still hate that they traded him away, leaving our secondary thin with Savage in and out of the lineup, Jair missing majority of the season with injuries, and Eric Stokes the same thing. Eric Stokes, a guy they just need to move on from at this point because he just cannot stay healthy, and even when he's out there on the field, he's not giving us good production at all. So they just need to move on from that guy. But the point I'm making is by the time the team went about 2-5, and especially after that first game with the Vikings, you could just see how pretty much they had given up on the season. They were just ready to pack it in, starting with that trade. So this season was just all about seeing what team we had. It was never really about competing for a playoff spot. But look how everything's gone down, man. So now here we are competing for a playoff spot. And as much as I don't want to see that Joe Barry defense in the playoffs, there's no way in hell I'm going to be rooting for us to lose next week against the Bears. The hell with that. But just an up and down season without question, man. Just an absolute up and down season. So we'll see how next week goes. Like I said, if they beat the Bears next week, they're in the playoffs. If they lose, I think they're eliminated unless they will be eliminated unless the San Francisco 49ers beat the Rams next week. So if we lose to the Bears, if we lose to the Bears, but if the 49ers beat the Rams, then we'll be in. But obviously you want to be in control of your own destiny. You win, period. Just go out there and win the game. You win, you're in. Simple as that. But that's all I got. Fuck the Vikings. I'm out. Peace.